Well, hello, and welcome again to the 2012fad.com. I will be your host for this evening. My name is Charlie Bluehawk. Last night we talked about cooked whale and how our masters, the Moron Masters, gave orders to attack a foreign country, Japan, because the Japanese government thought it was more important to make the world a better place to live by creating cars, for example, that would use no oil. Oil being a natural byproduct of the natural function of the earth anyway, and not dinosaur bits. The Japanese government thought having a stable economy was a good idea, which means jobs for everyone. And the Japanese government, decided that refusing to use Western vaccines and crippling the bodies and therefore the minds of their people was also a good idea. And for their crimes, the United States government, owned by British corporations, which are in turn owned by the Crown of England, which is a privately owned corporation located in the City of London, and whose major shareholder is the Queen of England, the United States attacked the country of Japan with a weapon that causes earthquakes. And in causing earthquakes, the high-energy beams cook the waters around the fault lines. Fault lines have to be heated, because when you heat something, it expands, and because you are heating a tectonic plate, it's pressed up against another tectonic plate, and the only place you have to go at that point is up. Japan moved 6 feet, physically moved 6 feet in this attack. And those beams that are heating the tectonic plates, they're cooking full-grown whales alive in cold water. And so, as the HARP weapon powers up, adjusts frequencies for maximum effect, it's cooking full-grown whales who, in agony, beach themselves rather than to drown. Tonight, I thought we would again chat about my friend, the program. If you've listened to my rants, my ravings in the past, you know about the very gay bodybuilder that I encountered on a bus in Island Bay, which is a suburb of Wellington in New Zealand. I had just seen the movie Alice in Wonderland with Johnny Depp, and I was amazed by the depth of the film, and even today, I can tell you it was a very significant movie, but I still have no idea why. So anyway, I'm sitting in the front of the bus, heading from Island Bay to the central business district of Wellington, downtown. And this very gay bodybuilder gets onto the bus, smiles at the little old lady bus driver, flips out his wallet, complete with bus pass, and wanders to the back of the bus, sitting behind me somewhere. And how, 5 minutes later, on the exact same bus, on the exact same day, with the exact same bus driver, the exact same very gay bodybuilder gets onto the exact same bus, again, and again, smiles at the little old lady bus driver, flips out his wallet complete with bus pass, and wanders to the back of the bus. At that time, I did not want to know anything else about this world. I was tired. I was through. And so I did not turn around to see how many of him there were sitting back there. I frankly just didn't want to know. I didn't. I was through. And so now today, I am in yet another European city. It's middle of March 2011, and just a few days ago, I had the exact same experience. Again. Every few days, no matter what city I'm in, I leave my room. I stop working for a few hours. I'm usually working 48 to 72 hours straight, and then I just have to get outside for a while. And I go walk around whatever city I happen to be in at the time. My life, as you can tell, is very glamorous. I sit inside it for days at a time in a small room, usually without even a table, and I work. It's lots of fun. So anyway, I'm out for a walk, and there's this major boulevard that you cannot jaywalk across. There are barriers, streetcars, traffic that's frankly scary. So if you are, intelligent or a foreigner and don't, are scared of the traffic here, you only cross this boulevard at the crosswalks, and then you just keep looking around anyway. So now, you have a general idea of the landscape we're dealing with. So I'm walking towards this major boulevard with the idea of crossing at the crosswalk, and then checking out the local street markets. I myself, I'm broke. I've spent my whole life trying to help you folks, and now I'm paying for it. So anyway, I'm broke at the moment. So I go out and I go looking. I just go look. I don't actually shop. But it gets me out of the house for a few hours. So anyway, I'm on my way to the Boulevard crosswalk, and I pass 4 Americans. That's not surprising. This is Europe. It's a touristy place. Lots of really cool things to do here. And there's people literally from all over the world. I like that. There are lots of different people from lots of different places, a lot of different cultures, and lots of different societies. When you have that kind of mix, it's very civilizing. And I'm very big into civilization at the moment. So anyway, there's 4 Americans. There's an Asian girl standing on the curb with one foot in the street, which is really a bad idea. And there's 4 of them. They're standing there, and they're about their mid-20s. One's a black man. There's the Asian girl with one foot in the street. There's one white guy and one white girl. And the Asian girl has out a blue folder with color inkjet printouts of the city, maps of the city. And they're arguing, they're having a great time, deciding which way they need to go. And I just smile and walk on. I don't really think about it. So I go to the crosswalk, I cross with a light, I turn left, and I head up the hill towards the street market. Now the next safe place to cross this major boulevard is up ahead of me, maybe, I don't know, 8-minute walk. So, guess who I come across 5 minutes later, dead ahead of me on my side of the boulevard now? The same 4 Americans. And they're still standing in the same exact position. The Asian girl is, again, standing there with one foot off the sidewalk. She's standing in the street. They're in their mid-20s, one black girl, the Asian girl, one white guy, and one white girl. And just like she was 5 minutes before, the Asian girl has out a blue folder with color inkjet printouts of the city, maps, and they're still arguing which way to go. In fact, they're having the exact same argument, and they're still having a good time. This time, however, I do smile, because I'm over the shock of seeing people repeated right in front of my eyes. But this time, I actually stop. I turn around. I was actually going to keep walking, but changed my mind. I actually wanted to try something. So I went back to them. I asked them if they needed help. Actually, I just really wanted to see if they could react outside of their program, the i.e. we are lost and arguing thing. And the white girl answered that they were just fine. They had figured it all out, but they were enjoying arguing. And I don't know, I said something clever like, just remember we're Americans. Whoever shouts the loudest is always right. And I kept on walking. So now I'm ahead of them again, and we're all walking in the same direction. So just for fun, the next major crosswalk is up ahead. I cross back to the other side of the boulevard because I just want to be able to watch these repeats, these programs, and see what they do next. Now, where I left them at the next major crosswalk, there's a park on their side, so they're standing next to a park, next to this major boulevard. And it took me maybe 30 seconds to get to the other side. And when I look back around, they're gone. Okay, now it's Europe, and there are lots of fun little shops everywhere, but I had left them in front of a park. Now, there's a side street going up the hill past the park, but I could see, quite a ways up. They weren't there. So I looked back the way that we had all come. They could have gone back that way, but again, I could see for maybe half a mile. They were gone. So what? I don't know. I really don't know. You'll have to tell me. I don't know what this is all about. I bring this up for another reason, actually. While I was in a truly terrible, truly horrible place, a country called New Zealand, I met lots of people, New Zealanders and foreigners. In fact, I was one of only 2 foreigners who had any New Zealand friends at all. New Zealanders are very suspicious, very unfriendly, and very frightened, which makes them just angry and just makes them mean. It's a brutal place. And when you brutalize people, it changes them. One German woman in particular, this comes to mind. She had taken her family, her husband, and her daughter to New Zealand for the same reasons I took me and my cat there, a better life. She told me that things were very bad in Germany. So like me, they were stuck and being destroyed in New Zealand, but for some reason, both she and her husband had jobs. Apparently the New Zealanders, I was told over and over again, would tolerate Germans, but they would never hire an American. It's a friendly place. But since I saw, or I knew this woman and her family for almost 3 years, I saw her change. Now, her husband never changed. Their daughter never changed. But this woman did. At first I figured it was the brutality of the New Zealanders, that blind, raging, gibbering madness that is the calling card of New Zealand. But after I saw the very gay bodybuilder get onto the same bus twice in 5 minutes in Wellington, I really began to wonder. You see, my friend was no longer my friend. It was like she had checked out. Her body was still there, and she had all the same habits, she did the same job, but the essence of who she was gone. It was almost like, and I really have no idea how this might be done, it was like she had logged out of her own body, and someone or something had stepped in to take her place. It was like she was the character, a key character in a game, a learning program we might all be inside of. It was like she was playing the key character, or one of the key characters. Now the husband, he needed his wife, and the daughter needed her mother. But I saw that it wasn't her anymore. I mean, what are you going to do if you're a husband and your wife is suddenly no longer your wife, or you're a daughter and you no longer have a mother, but it's still her? I mean, what are you going to say? Hi, Mom, where did you go? I mean, what are you going to do in that situation? You know it's not her. Because there was something else there, something running her body for her, doing all the things that she would do, but it wasn't her. Now, I have encountered, and I'm sure you have too, the usual programs that we're used to in this life, those subroutines whose only job is to provoke us into some sort of action. But this, my friend was gone. This man's wife was gone. This girl's mother was gone. It was her body, but she wasn't there. I do not know what this means. I don't. Maybe it means that some of us are human observers. They're only to watch us, grade us, maybe even motivate us. She did things that motivated me, and her complete change in attitude towards me and her other friends. We all noticed the changes, even as we fled for our lives from New Zealand. Lots of us did that, fleeing New Zealand. We'd already been financially destroyed by going there, and we had literally nothing but a couple of bags and our souls to escape with. And I bring this up today because this exact same thing happened to me yesterday. Another good friend of mine, a man I've known for years, suddenly, he wasn't there anymore. It's his voice, it's his work, but it's not him. All of a sudden, he's a stranger I've never met. He's doing his job. He's doing it very well. He knows all the things he should know, but it's not him. It's like he's checked out. He's set his body on automatic, and the body's doing things he should do. But the soul is gone. He has no emotions, no feelings at all. I don't know who he is, and I miss my friend. But as you know, we have a plan, and it's called the Village, and we need cash to make it come true. And since this unprovoked, very cowardly attack on Japan by the U.S. government, our Western Moron Masters are making us run out of time here pretty quick. Now, the good news is that no matter what happens, 98% of this world, they're just cattle, and they'll never even notice, so we can keep working. So that's good news, at least. In the meantime, for all of us here at the 2012fad.com, this is Charlie Bluehawk, wishing you a really good day, and reminding you please keep at least one good thought. The 2012 Fad is brought to you by Coffee and Blood, Love Letters Between the Dead, a series of 5 erotica horror novels about a fallen angel finding his way back to regain his own soul, and how the CIA war against the human race, their black magic, captures and traps him in the body of a mind-controlled slave designed to hunt down and to kill their god, their Satan.